raise your hand if you feel like you're not paying enough to Cablevision, right? That you really want to pay more, that your cable bill is probably too low at this point. And I don't really, see a lot of hands.
There is no reason Riverhead should be forced to pay higher rates for subpar service.
Product, and even if you are a satisfied Cablevision customer, you shouldn't be paying more just because of where you live.
The residents want a choice.
And to a person, when I spoke to them, they all said very much the same thing, that their prices were high for their cable costs. And they asked the PSC to step up.
And I keep hearing the same thing over and over again, that people want more competition, that people want more options.
I want to say the only way for anybody to keep Cablevision in check, Verizon in check, is through competition. And right now, we don't have that competition.
It's not working right now because there isn't competition in areas like Riverhead. So
it is time for the Public Service Commission to step in and to say that this technology is not a luxury. This technology is a basic necessity, and it should be part of basic service.
Please, we got to get the PSC to look at this, the governor. We want that definition of basic service changed to include high-speed internet and TV.
High-speed internet, cable television, and phone are no longer luxuries, but they're basic necessities in our lives here in 2014.
Sure. We have to ensure that we provide the infrastructure so that young people want to stay in a vibrant community that has the latest technologies and the same issues for our businesses.
It is imperative that Verizon builds this fiber network in the town of Riverhead to give its residents the same options, services, and opportunities that many, many communities across Long Island already have.
Because there's one organization that is consistently advocating for greater choice in the telecommunications industry and a build-out of this infrastructure, and that is CWA Local 1108.
We're not against Verizon. We want to grow this company. We want to grow their product, and their best product is FIOS. It's not VoiceLink. It's not some other wireless service.
FIOS is profitable. It makes money for that company.
There was an earlier era in the New Deal period when the telephone network really was created. In that era, the government guaranteed and required the companies to deliver service to everybody at an affordable rate with good service quality.
They're the carrier of last resort, and by definition, it's just real simple. Telecommunications carrier that commits or is required by law to provide service to any customer in a service area that requests it, even if serving that customer would not be economically viable at prevailing rates.
And that was all enforced. So if you were the lonely family up in, in the hills with a shack, you got a telephone wire, right? Today, that's not the case. Under wireless, under cable, under the internet, that sort of regulatory system doesn't exist. So the companies can pick and choose where to go. So if you're an area that's lucrative, that they can cherry pick, you're a winner. But if you're in an area that they don't want to serve, you're a loser.
It is absolutely essential that we see build-out occur throughout this county. We have tremendous potential in this county for innovation. We have some of the greatest research institutions and centers anywhere in the world, Stony Brook University and Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory and Brookhaven National Laboratory. But we're being held back by this lack of modern infrastructure.
So don't tell me a lack of FIOS infrastructure isn't hurting this community and isn't hurting economic growth. Thank you.
By the 2000s, the telephone regulation that is on the copper landline network, that regulatory scheme was getting eviscerated by a government that was just dominated by Verizon and other telecom companies, big money. So in 2005, the PSC made the decision to stop fining Verizon when they violated service quality requirements. So once they stopped fining them, they had no financial incentive to continue to maintain the copper network. So in 2010, they took away the measurement system for even measuring accurately what kind of service quality was out there.
This is the constituency that you represent as this regulatory agency, and you need to listen to them.
It is time for the PSC to step up and say this technology needs to be built out here in Riverhead and across the county and all across the state in the places where it is lacking.
The Public Service Commission needs to step in and insist that fiber optic technology is made available to all residents of New York State. It's time for the Public Service Commission to include high-speed internet and cable services and have it included in our basic service.
It's about jobs, it's about quality service, and it's about competitive pricing.
Things really bottomed out in 2013, last year, after Sandy, when Verizon decided, in the wake of the disaster, that they were simply not going to rebuild their network. And that really was brought to a head on Fire Island when Verizon said, we're not rebuilding the network and we're going to give everybody a wireless-only service called VoiceLink as a substitute. That caused an incredible fight back.
I went to those town hall meetings in Fire Island, and Verizon representatives got up there, and some of you were there, and turned around and said, look, FIOS is off the table. You will never have FIOS on Fire Island. We actually have that on tape. I think we should play it on a constant loop.
When they did what they did, Verizon, on Fire Island, we fought against VoiceLink. And we won that battle. We had a lot of allies in that battle.
And we all know that when the public and elected officials work together, they force Verizon to build out like they did on Fire Island. And we deserve
that grassroots, nonstop effort and drive forced a turnaround on a company that did not want to be forced to do anything.
We were able to get the PSC to reconsider letting Verizon just abandon an entire area. So what they did was they forced Verizon to build FIOS onto Fire Island. That's the first time that Verizon has been made to build FIOS into a new area where they didn't want to build it.
A Verizon spokesman said that FIOS isn't coming to the East End, rally or no rally.
What we've got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach.
Well, I say au contraire, Mr. Bonanno.
FIOS. Make no mistake, if the Public Service Commission actually decided to do its job and regulate these companies so that they delivered adequate service to everybody, they can get Verizon to build FIOS into this area.
The people in Riverhead deserve to have these services and this technology.
I am with you. Every member of my town board, regardless of political affiliation, is with you. This is a fight that's worth making. This is a fight that we have to win.
It's my pleasure to support you, and I'll be with you every step of the way.
So we're here to support you. We're going to ask the PSC to step in and ensure that there's fair competition and that all communities are treated equally. Okay?
It's not going to work if it's just CWA. And it's not going to work if it's our elected leaders. It's got to be the public. And so that's why we put up our billboard with the PSC's number. Call them. Let them know.
I think it was Thomas Jefferson who said that constant diligence, it's all about responsibility living in a democracy.
If they hear from enough of us, they will act. Please make that call. Please send that email. Call the governor. Let him know, hey, you know what? I'm tired of having to deal with this virtual monopoly. I'm tired of having to pay higher prices for slower service. Let them know. If enough of us tell them, they'll act. I guarantee you.
Get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants. Well, he gets.
You're going to hear more from us. This ain't over.
I don't like him any more than you do.
So you will bring FIOS to the East End. The question is, will it be the hard way or the easy way?